Duelist Club for life.
What's going on, people of the interwebs? What's going on, people of the interwebs? It's your boy Michael Watu representing the Duelist Club, and today we're doing another budget deck profile for Lightsworns, actually. Usually we do other decks for our budget decks, but today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Lightsworns. Now, as a disclaimer, if you want to play this deck competitively, because these are budget decks, remember that, so they're not going to be the most competitive decks. If you want this deck competitive, I would recommend 60 card Zombie Sworn, 60 card Lightsworn, Infernoids, something like that. These are just for people who you know, just want to pick up a deck and just play with their friends, or they don't really know the game like that and they just want like an easier deck to just kind of learn how to play without having to spend a whole bunch of money. This is a good deck for people who, if they want to spend money, they already have, you know, the core and everything. They can just go out and just buy whatever they need. It's pretty cheap, honestly, if you get everything like at like lowest quality common. On top of the fact that most of these cards are just kind of replacements for other high level cards. This deck is only about, this right here is only about $20 to $30 or 25 to 30 bucks. Plus, you know, the extra deck, which is thin, as you can see. This is just kind of like a starter. I will let you guys know what other extra deck monsters I would probably put into your extra deck. But yeah, I made it as cheap as I possibly can, and whenever I did the math, this is only about, with this, around 30, a little bit more than 30, so about 3 structure decks. I'm around there. And yeah, so without any further ado, let's get into it. Alright guys, as I go over these cards, I'm not going to go over them in great detail because we are on a time crunch. I'm going to tell you guys what are the most important cards I have in this deck and what are the least important cards I have in this deck, and it's kind of up to you whether or not you want to follow this 100% or if you want to switch out some cards. So yeah, it's up to you. First, your most important card in the deck, Triple Judgment Dragon. It's about $2 to $3 each. Your most expensive card in this deck. Some people are like, hey, you know, that's just a card, why is it so expensive? For all you, you know, newer Yu-Gi-Oh players, trust me, I felt the same way. But as I started playing, I realized there are other cards out there that are worth 5, 6, 7, 8 bucks. Like, I'll show you one right now, Ancient Fairy, 8 bucks. So, I mean, and then some people just play one of that card, you know, and some people just buy multiples for trades. So, I mean, this is not that bad. $2 to $3. The card is 3,000 attack. You can't normal summon, which means you can't, you know, you can't tribute out to bring it out, but you can special summon it. And in order to do that, you have to have 4 different Lightsworn monsters in your graveyard with different names. All have to be different names. And if you do that, you get to special summon this card, pay up 1,000 life points, and you can destroy all cards on the field, including your cards. So be careful about that. You're not really going to be setting cards, so I mean, you're fine, but just in case, you know, just be aware that that's a thing. Yeah, and if you bring this card out into the field, if you can go about 3 turns, and you know, keep this card out, you pretty much have game. So there you go. Now these are the most important Lightsworn monsters. I think if you're not gonna get these cards, you should not play this deck. Triple Wolf, really cheap as a common. Triple Raiden, really cheap as a common. Triple Lumina, really cheap as a common. And Double Felice, you don't need these 2. You can play 1, be fine, but I think 2 is needed for this deck. I'll go over it just kind of like in a small succession. Like for example, Wolf right here, you have to mill it, which means you have to send this card from the deck to the graveyard in any way, and if you do that, you get to special summon that card. 2100 attack, really good, level 4, good for rank 4 Xyz plays. Raiden, you can just mill off 2. Lumina, when it comes out into the field, you get to discard 1 card, go into your deck. I'm not going to your deck, but go into your graveyard, look for 1 Lightsworn monster and bring it out onto the field as a special summon. Felice, if this card is sent from the deck to the graveyard via monster effect, you get to special summon it out onto the field. Like for example, Raiden, it mills 2 cards from your deck to the graveyard, and if one of those cards is Felice, because it's a monster effect, you bring it out. Pretty simple. Yeah, effective. Most game-winning boards for Lightsworns have these 4, if not 5, including Judgment Dragon, onto the field. These other cards you really don't see winning. I got, okay, so you really don't see them on the field as like a winning board, but you see them as kind of helpful ways to get to the winning board. And that's double Lila, one Celestia, one Garoth, one Jane, and one Raikou. I think these cards right here aren't needed, but they help me get to what I need to get to. So, plus, you know, they're just multiple Lightsworn cards to get out into the graveyard, so you can use your Judgment Dragon. One Performance Trick Clown. If that card's in the graveyard, you can pay out 1,000, special summon it onto the field. Level 4, you can rank 4, go into any X these monsters you want to. The last monster, which you probably won't have onto the field, you'll use it as a hand trap. Triple Honest. If you're going against a monster that has higher attack than you do, you play this card, and you gain the monster either you're attacking or that is attacking you, you gain their attack. So say there was a monster attacking you with 2,000 and you only have 1,000, you play this card, your monster gains 2,000 attack, and you swing over that monster for 1,000. So, really good. Going into spells, which is a weird way to kind of go into, but yeah, we're going to go over spells first. Lightsworn Judgment, decent card, I'll read it off for you. Place this card on the top of your deck. If you draw into it, if this card is sent from the deck to the graveyard via Lightsworn monster effect, you can add one Judgment Dragon from your deck to your hand. So it's just there to just bring out Judgment Dragon. Going over our spells, you have Triple Solar Recharge. You discard one Lightsworn monster, you draw 2 cards. Then send the top 2 cards from your deck to the graveyard. So you draw 2 and then you mill 2. Really good. Charge of the Light Brigade. I'll read this one off to you. You're going to want to play 3. And the effect is send the top 3 cards from your deck to the graveyard. Add one level 4 Lightsworn monster from your deck to your hand. Really good for starting up plays. If you can draw into at least 1 or 2 of these, it's too broken. Alright guys, next card you're going to want to play is Soul Charge. Pretty much, you can bring back as many monsters as you want from your grave. But for every monster you bring back, you have to pay up 1,000. So that's kind of scary. You can bring back an entire board, but at the same time, you have to pay up 5,000 life points. For, you know, the 5. Whatever. Reinforcement of the army. You can just add one, you know, Beast Warrior monster, add it to your hand. If you need it, you don't really need this card. I'm going to just say that right now. You can just get rid of this card and you'll be fine, but, you know, it's just there just in case you need it. Okay, so this card you definitely don't need, but you know, being the fact that you're not playing, you know, Cosmic Cyclone, and you're not playing Twin Twisters, this is kind of like the 3rd best thing, and that's Mystical Space Typhoon. Pretty simple. You just destroy one of your opponent's back row cards. That's pretty much it. Helps you defend yourself against cards that have like not cards, but decks that have like a lot of back row. Pot of Duality, just to search out cards you need. One Dark Hole, just in case you're in like a rut and you just need to get rid of all your opponent's monsters. And last, you're going to want to play Foolish Burial. Really good for sending Wolf to the graveyard so you can special summon it. That's pretty much all this card's used for. You can't play more than one because it's limited to 1. For anybody who's wondering why most of these cards have 1, most of these are just limited to 1. Okay guys, on to our side deck. 1 Michael, 1 MX Saber Invoker, 1 Minerva. Most important card out of your entire side deck. If you can get any card, it would be Minerva. I'm not gonna lie, this card is like 3 of those Judgment Dragons, but it is so worth it. If you're gonna play this deck, I would highly recommend getting this card. If you're gonna play an extra deck, if you're not, you don't have to play the extra deck. You can just play the deck by itself, it'll be fine. But if you're gonna play an extra deck, I would rather you guys go out and get this card. Really helps out. 1 Babushka, 1 Castell, 1 Gaga Cowboy, 1 Gaga Samurai, and last but not least, Abyss Dweller. It's really good for going against Dinos, going against another Lightsworn deck. Pretty much any deck that works with the graveyard, this helps. You discard 1, and for that turn, they can't use any effects in the graveyard, so really good. Okay guys, I just wanted to tell you guys, thank you guys for subscribing, for those who subscribed. Thank you guys for commenting, for those who commented. Thank you for liking and disliking, for the people who like and dislike. It really helps us out, especially the comments. You guys who end up like telling us, hey, you should play these cards, hey, you should play these cards, or hey, it's a really good video, thank you. You have no idea how much that means to hear other people tell us, you know, hey, keep going. That's what keeps me going. I know you guys have been kind of watching and realizing that, you know, we haven't really been putting up videos as much as we want to, but best believe I'm gonna try my hardest just to make sure we get out at least 2 videos a week. Last week we only got out 1 video. This was supposed to be a video coming out during the weekend. I just didn't get around to doing it, but I'm going to make sure that we're gonna have to have at least 2 videos out this week, and we're gonna keep trying to keep, you know, building up this channel. And yeah, just stay with us, give us some support. That's all we can ask for right now. And yeah, I will see you guys later.